Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful to have this opportunity because normally Jerry, our fearless leader and CEO and founder, is normally doing his Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube Live at this time. And he asked me to step in for him today. And I'm super grateful. I'm really excited. So in honor of Jerry, the live stream today is called Ceremony Stories because he's been talking about his ceremony stories. So I'm going to share with you some of my ceremony stories. But first, I want to share with you a little bit about Rythmia. Rythmia is a life advancement center. What does that mean? It means that you come here to expand your life. You come here to break free from old patterns and unhook from the past, merge back together to a state of authenticity, and then step boldly into your future. And why? How does that happen? It happens to everybody. We all have, no matter what, no matter whether you had the best childhood or the worst childhood, doesn't matter. We all had experiences that happened to us in childhood that we made a belief about. An experience happened, and then there was a belief from that experience. Oh, it always happens this way. I'm always this way. Hey, Susan, great to see you. And that belief became the law of my life. I was just teaching The Answer Is You, Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith's class that we teach here at Rythmia. And one of the ladies was sharing that for her, it became, she was, oh gosh, what was it? Oh, it was a guy, and he was impatient, right? He said, I'm patient. I'm seeing in the medicine that I'm impatient. And I asked what was underneath that impatience. And there was embarrassment there for him. And so he made, the experience that he had in childhood caused a belief that he had to make things happen fast so that people didn't see anything that would embarrass him about himself. He was different from the other kids. And that then became the law of his life. And now he's taking the medicine and he's seeing in the medicine, he's impatient. Like, let's get this over with. All right, let's get to the healing. Come on, let's go. The medicine is reflecting back exactly what there is to be healed. That's the beauty of this medicine. And that's what happens at Rythmia is you get to see the experience that you had that caused the belief and how that belief has become the law of your life. And you get to rewrite that. You get to create a new law of your life by establishing a new belief. That's what happens when you merge, is you establish a new belief. I'm not bad. I'm not weird. I'm not different. Or I am different and it's not weird. Or I am weird and that's great. I love my weirdness. Whatever it is, this is the power of the plant medicine. So let's talk about so that's what's up at Rythmia. So if you are feeling the call, something in you is calling you. There's something that you are feeling stuck about, something that you want to upgrade in your life, something that you want to move past. You're having questions about your purpose. You'd like to release something from the past, something that's keeping you from being free, and you have a sense that there's something that's holding you back. This is a place to come. It's tremendous. And we see it every week. I get to see it every week. And here's what happens in ceremony. I want to tell you a couple of stories that are coming to mind. And for those of you, hey, I see Darren's there. Man, hey, everybody. Great to see you guys. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to set this over here so I can see the comments from people. Hey, everybody. Welcome. All right. So one of my earliest experiences in ceremony was I opened my eyes, and in the canopy of the maloka is like has a A-frame, not A-frame, but a peaked roof. And there's beams below and the roof is peaked. And I looked up and I saw this giant snake coiled up in the ceiling. I was like, whoa. and I could see the snake, and the musicians were playing. And I could see the snake moving to the music, and I could see it with the music that the snake was going to the people. It was going into each person that was in the ceremony. And I could see it healing, going to where the areas within them that were seeking to be healed, the areas within them that were seeking to be brought to the light. This is the power of the music and the medicine. So one of the things I want to share with you, stories of ceremony, is the power of music and how the music works with the medicine. The music drives the medicine. The music, it dances. And you'll see frequently when the medicine keepers, the ayahuasqueros, before they serve the medicine, they sing and dance to the medicine. And the people that are preparing the medicine, when they're cooking the medicine, they're praying and they're singing and they're dancing. Maybe you have that experience of your grandmother. Hey, Susan, Auntie Mama. Maybe you have that experience of your grandmother singing over a pot of spaghetti sauce. If you have an Italian grandmother. I'm of Lebanese parentage. So I remember my mom praying over the food that she was cooking. You're imbuing that food with your energy. And that's what the medicine keepers are doing when they're preparing the medicine, and before they serve it to you, they're imbuing the medicine with this energy, and the music imbues the medicine with this energy. And the medicine then moves and goes to each area within you that's seeking to be healed. That was one of my earliest experiences with ayahuasca. Today, I want to talk to you about 4 different experiences that replicate the 4 big principles at Rythmia. There are 4 things that we do, that we say at Rythmia, that are unique at Rythmia, that nobody else knows or explains the way we explain it. And that is, 1, what's coming is going. 2, go to what's hard. 3 is don't think, drink. And 4 is mind your own business. These principles can be applied not just in ceremony, but in life. And I have an example of each of those in my own personal experience in ceremonies. The first experience is what's coming is going. We come to medicine, we come to all sorts of practices that help us: breath work, meditation, plant medicine, ecstatic dance. What is the modality that you're using to break through? We come to it with something that we want to heal, with something that we want to shift in our lives. And so frequently, the thing that we want to fix is the thing we've been avoiding. So frequently, the thing that we want to fix is the thing we've been avoiding. We don't want to feel it. That's why we have this compulsive behavior, because I don't want to feel something. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know about it. I'd rather not feel that. So I'm going to go to addiction, or I'm going to go shopping, or I'm going to have sex, or I'm going to eat, or I'm going to be controlling, or I'm going to be a people pleaser, or I'm going to be a perfectionist. Any of those things resonate with you? Or all of them, right? Those are the things that we do. We had an experience. Remember, we have an experience. An experience creates a belief. Nothing will happen unless I make it happen. And then that becomes a law of our life. I'm controlling. And we can't figure out why we're driving people away, because we're so controlling. And I know I'm controlling, and I want to stop being controlling, but I'm keeping control. So then you drink the medicine and you start to feel embarrassment. Like, here's my story of that. I would start to feel really scared, right? Very scared. The unknown, something out there. It was like there was something out there and it was going to be scary and I didn't know. And I would curl up in the medicine. I'd curl up and be like in a fetal position and be like, oh boy, here it comes. That was my reaction to life. When life was happening, something in the unknown was coming. Instead of being like, okay, it's the unknown, let's go, I was, oh no, it's the unknown, hunker down. That became the law of my life. In one of the Rythmia principles is what's coming is going. The thing that is coming up for us is coming to be healed. It's being brought up. The medicine is showing it to you so that you can see it. And when you see it, you heal it. When you feel it, you heal it. You have to feel it in order to heal it. The reason why is we've been avoiding that for so long. Even though, let's say I want to heal my depression and I've been doing all these things to not feel depressed, but I finally have to feel depressed. I have to feel that so that I can heal it. We had a lady here one time who came here to work on a relationship. And she kept saying, I'm drinking the medicine and it keeps taking me back to when I was 17 and I had cancer. And I've healed that. I don't know why it keeps taking me back there. I've healed it. Well, after talking to her for a little while, we could see that she hadn't really dealt with that situation. She was young and she just wanted to get through it and put it behind her. And she hadn't dealt with how afraid she felt, how scary it was, how helpless she felt, how she felt life was being taken from her. All those emotions were creating, that was an experience that created a belief that became the law of her life. And it was affecting her relationship, but the medicine, so she came to work on the relationship, and the medicine took her back to when she was 17 and had to deal with cancer. And she was resisting that. Like, I don't want to have to deal with that. I want to fix my relationship. But it was the feeling of life being taken from her and that she had no control and the fear and the being so afraid that was affecting her relationship. So the medicine is showing you here, this is what you need to look at. And when you look at it, it changes. When you look at it, it shifts. Why? Because, well, there's a great story. There's a great story of the sirens. Have you guys ever heard of the sirens from the Odyssey? It's a Greek myth about the sirens. And the sirens were these women, these mermaids. They were mermaids, and they had a call, they had a song, and no sailor could avoid no sailor could resist the call of the sirens. And when they hear the call of the sirens, they would jump into the sea and drown, or they'd crash their ships on the rocky shores, and nobody could get through the straits of the sirens. And Odysseus was on his way home from the Trojan War. He was like, I want to get home. I got to get through. So but he also wanted to hear the call of the sirens. And the Greek myth said that any person who could hear the call of the sirens and resist the call, the sirens would lose their power. If you could hear the call but resist it, the sirens would lose their power. So Odysseus said, all right, said to his men, tie me up to the mast of the ship, tie me to the mast. And you guys put wax in your ears so you don't hear the call of the sirens. And don't let me down no matter what I say until we get to the other side. And he heard the call and the sirens lost their power. How many of us have those sirens in our life that call us off course, that cause us to crash the ship of our life on the rocky shores of fear, doubt, lack, worry, limitation, and not enoughness? How many of us? If we can look at the thing that's calling us, but not get caught by it. If we can honor the story, but not get caught in it, it will lose its power. So what's coming is going. We have to see it. And if we can just see it and not get pulled in to the story, it will heal. So that's one of the beautiful principles at Rythmia. One of my favorite principles at Rythmia is mind your own business. And that's a principle for life. That is a total principle for life. What does that mean? Listen, I personally can get caught up in what's going on, comparison with other people, what other people are doing. I mean, just take a look at social media, right? Like, all I got to do is be like, oh God, I got to up my game. Look at what they're doing. Oh, they're having a great time. Why am I not doing that? Spins you down. Comparison is a thief of joy, but we are incomparable. There is no comparison between me and you, because there's no comparison between me and anybody else, because I'm the only me there is right now on the planet, ever was, or ever will be. And you are the only you that there ever was, ever will be, or is on the planet right now. So it's not even about superiority, inferiority, or even being equal. It's not even about equality. It's about incomparability. So when I'm peeking around, looking at what everybody else is doing, I'm not minding my own business, and it's disempowering. So frequently we make assumptions about what is going on in somebody else's life, thinking that it's way better, and the grass isn't necessarily greener. In ceremony, this works like this. People are going crazy sometimes. We have a rule in ceremony. Most ceremonies have a rule called noble silence, right? Like, you're not supposed to talk to other people, let them have their process. but there's no noble silence going on in the ceremony. People are like, purging the spawn of Satan over there. People are screaming, and you're like, how am I supposed to concentrate on my own thing when everybody else is going crazy? Well, we got to mind our own business in the midst of the cacophony. So I have a great story about this. We had a lady come one time. She was a grandma, like almost 80, maybe late 70s, early 80s. And she ran a psychiatric ward at a mental hospital in Switzerland for 40 years. And everybody loved this lady. She was thin and, looked fragile, but she wasn't, but because she was thin and old, and here she was drinking the medicine. Everybody just loved her, from the minute she was funny and witty and had a, buoyant personality. And we all go into ceremony, and she drinks the medicine. We all drink the medicine. We sit down, and now it's quiet. And within 10 minutes, faster than the medicine could have metabolized, she starts screaming in Swiss German, nine, nine, and everybody's going crazy, like, what's up with grandma? Like, they're getting worried about grandma, like, poor grandma, she's really releasing some trauma. So I got tagged to go assist grandma. I was the grandmother whisperer for that particular occasion. So I go to help. I calm her down, and throughout the night, she would bubble back up, nine, 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 nine. And, she was processing something heavy. Well, all night I worked with her to keep her calm. And the next day I saw her, and, I was being a little like, damn, I did good last night. We took care of grandma, and I wanted her to tell me how good I did. So I saw her the next morning. I said, hey, how you doing? She goes, fine. I go, how was your night last night? And she goes, fine. Why? I go, well, there was some stuff going on in the Maloka. I don't know, did you notice anything? She goes, no, I slept all night. Like what was going on for her on the outside, look, she was releasing trauma, but the medicine had her in a different place. She was in a peaceful place. She was sleeping, talking to God, whatever she was doing. She wasn't having to deal with all this stuff, even though there was a lot of trauma that she was releasing. How frequently do we make assumptions about what's going on over there based on the appearances of it when we really don't know what's going on? So the best thing to do is mind my own business, because what's going on is none of my business. What people think of me is none of my business. What I think of other people is none of my business. And what I think of myself is none of my business. We really, really, really have the opportunity to take our power back. When I am looking out there, I'm not looking here. And, Ram Dass says the greatest thing that we can do, somebody asked Ram Dass, what can I do for you? And he said, the greatest thing you can do for me is work on you. And the greatest thing I can do for you is to work on me. So no matter what's going on out there, we bring it back here. Forget the object, come back to subject. The greatest thing we can do for our relationship, for our society, for our family, for ourselves is to mind our own business. Because coming back here, cleaning this up, changes everything out there. We become the individual who brings an atmosphere of peace. We're not looking to get peace from out there. We bring an atmosphere of joy. We're not looking to get joy from out there. We bring an atmosphere of healing. We bring an atmosphere of excellence. We bring an atmosphere of harmony, balance, and order. We bring an atmosphere of prosperity. We bring what we offer and amplify that quality where we enter. We bring an atmosphere of that, but it doesn't happen when I'm all out there. We got to mind our own business. It's one of my favorite rythmia stories, rythmia principles. And another go to what's hard is another one of our principles. And this one is really important. It kind of parallels back with the sirens, right? If we just look at something, it shifts. When we actually allow ourselves to experience what it is that we've been avoiding, it changes. This is the power of observation. In fact, freedom is observation without judgment. And that came directly from the medicine. we had a politician from Florida here one time, and she was a saucy lady, like fiery. And she was not having the experience that she expected in ceremony. In fact, she was just purging, had a lot of physical stuff going on, and she was upset. In fact, she was like, what kind of back alley shit are you giving me? Because I'm not getting, other people are like, oh my God, I saw God. And I went to this tribal council. It was the Aztec elders. And I had this fabulous cape on and we had this great conversation. And she's like, like just puking. And the other people are having this great experience. And so she said, I'm not going to ceremony until you give me a laboratory analysis of the medicine, because I don't believe you're giving me the same stuff you're giving me other people, which was perfect, right? Because one of the things, our principles and intentions at Rythmia is to show me who I've become. Show me who I've become. And so she was being seen who she'd become, completely cynical, doubting. The world was out to get her. Nothing was for her, right? That was her worldview. The medicine's reflecting it back. So we had a conversation with her because she was judging everything with a negative, worst case scenario. And she had an experience that caused a belief. Her belief was, everything's out to get me. Worst case scenario is happening. If I don't stick up and make stuff happen and fight for it, nothing will happen good unless I make it happen. And that became the law of her life. And then she just reinforced that over and over again. Then she comes and drinks the medicine that comes up at her face. And the reaction was, what kind of back alley shit are you giving me? I want a laboratory analysis of the medicine. So we talked to her, went through this whole process with her, got her to go to ceremony that night. She comes out of ceremony the next day and she goes, John, I got it. I go, what? She goes, freedom is observation without judgment. I was like, that's brilliant. Where'd you get that? She goes, to medicine. Freedom is observation without judgment. So when you go to what's hard, its truth, when you can observe without judging, its truth will be revealed. And observation without judgment is really unconditional love. When you love something, it reveals its truth to you. There's a great book called The Man Who Talked to Flowers about George Washington Carver, who was a famous African-American scientist in the early 1900s who invented peanut butter and sweet potato flour. He was instrumental in the war efforts for the United States because he could just walk in nature and tell them where the minerals were, because he meditated. And he was at unison. He was one with nature in his meditations. And he said that the peanut revealed its secrets to him because he loved it. And he loved life. When you love something, it will reveal its secrets to you. So you can't love something when you're judging it. Freedom is observation without judgment. This comes from when you go to what's hard. So there's another story of the medicine. Let's see. We got time for one more story? We got time for one more story. One more story. Hey, y'all, how you doing? Good to see you. All right. One of my favorite stories, actually shared this with my dear friend Susan, who's watching today. One time in ceremony, I saw this vision. Two things happened during this ceremony. The first thing that happened was I went blind. Yeah, don't freak out. I drank the medicine and I couldn't see. My eyes were open and everything was just like, no matter how much I opened my eyes, it was just black. And I said, why am I blind? And the message came, you're blind so you can see with your heart. So medicine was so powerful that night, to learning to see and feel with my heart. It was such a powerful experience. And in that ceremony, I had a vision and I could see myself sitting, and behind me were all these waterfalls. It was like the headwaters of these waterfalls. It was like a half moon of waterfalls, and all the waterfalls were flowing into one river, and the river was washing over me. And I asked what that was. And she said, those are all the intentions that you've set in ceremony. they're still working. They're still flowing over you. So the work that we do in ceremony, the intentions that we set, the things that you do in life are still in motion. Hold them, remember them, work with them. You have to stay in touch with these intentions for them to be as powerful as they were. But what the work that you've done is always working. Take time to integrate. Take time to embody the images, the messages, the insights, the downloads, the revelations that you've had from the medicine. It will take time, but as you work through somatic integration and meditation and nature connect and movement and exercise and proper nutrition and hydration and rest and all the things that you need to integrate, you will embody these insights. They will no longer be something you have to remember. You get to embody. It'll become second nature. Okay, I think that's our, hey, Sharon. We got Sharon, Susan. Thank you all so much. Everybody in the Instagram world, everybody in Facebook and YouTube world. Yes, Facebook and YouTube world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you, Jerry, for inviting me to do your Facebook Live today. I'm sending you all peace and richest blessings, and I hope to see you soon.